Hey folks, everything new under the sun. I've got a little review for you. This is the Haloview MC7101 backup camera. Now this particular one is a great little backup camera. It is quite industrial. It's really meant for, I think, 18-wheelers, trucks, etc. I'm going to test it out on my Airstream, and I'm hauling the Airstream with a big old 1997 Suburban, and the Airstream is about 24 feet, and of course it's aluminum, so you've got this big long metal trailer and this big long metal truck. And this is a wireless 2.4 gig monitoring system. So we're going to see how it works going through a lot of metal. Now, of course, like I said, this is an Airstream trade wind. It's a 24 foot, you can see there. Just to give you an idea of what I'm testing and how I'm testing it. Now, this particular unit I got off Amazon.ca. I was allowed to get it for testing and review purposes, so we're going to take a look at it. This particular one has a 120 degree angle camera on it, and it apparently transmits up to 120 meters. Now, I didn't try it that far, but I thought what I tried going through all that metal and aluminum was a pretty good test, and it had 100% signal. I think in one of the other images in this video I will show the particular signal of it. In this case, with the kit, you get one camera, and there are infrared lights on it, so you can see at night vision basically. You get a 7-inch display, a loudspeaker on it. The camera does have a built-in microphone, which is kind of interesting. We'll see that in some of the videos. You can adjust the brightness, and it takes a micro SD, so I had a little 32 gig micro SD, and you can have several cameras on it, which is neat. So all angles, and like I say, this is really quite an industrial based thing. So we're going to go ahead and do the unbox right now. So this is brand new. Haven't even taken the wrapper off this unit yet. Again, this is the MC7101 2.4 gigahertz wireless monitor camera system. And the video recording, indeed, it does that. It does the audio recording too, which I think is a nice little feature, honestly. Just to have that there. Not all backup cameras have that feature, but it's nice to have. So just showing you the backs and sides of the box so you know what you're going to expect. Shows you the LCD size, the latency, and the channels. It's got 4 channels. We're going to take a look at the wiring after, where you can actually hook up to 4 different cameras, video cameras for it, and record them all to the card. So that's pretty cool. The voltage input range is 10 to 32 volts, which is great. I just plugged it in very temporarily on my Airstream to try it out with a couple of 12-volt batteries. So I used a jumper pack for the in-truck monitor, and a little 12-volt battery for putting it on the back of the trailer. So when you open up the box, you're greeted to the manual. The manual is fairly substantial, nice glossy sheets, color photographs, very easy to read, and diagrams of what you get, and how to hook it all up. There's wires in this to actually allow you to switch between cameras with another, a button system or a trigger system. So there's the antennas. We got basically our 2.4 gig antennas, 2 for the monitor and 1 for each of the cameras. Effectively, in this kit, you get 1 camera. There's a 7-inch display. It does have a screen protector on it, which I peel off later. It's got some lots of ways to stand it up. Screws on the side of it, as well as this base plate here, which you can bend. It's metal with plastic adhesive on the bottom, so you can bend it to shape to your dashboard and that sort of thing. Here's a camera. It's very substantial. It's very well built. You can see the IR lights there for the night vision. It's even got a little metal hood on it. It's very sturdily built. Screws. Comes with an Allen key so you can tighten it up. And the connector actually has a nice little locking feature, so it won't come loose. So that's nice. And they give you enough cord to basically get it into the vehicle, and then at that point you need to wire it to wherever you're going. That's the big cord for the monitor itself, and of course you get your little baggies of screws and your Allen key. And you get more parts than you actually need. There's the thumb knobs for the big metal plate that's also in there in a second. Here's a little screen hood just to keep glare off it and such. Seems to work very well. Snaps right on. The fit and finish of it is your standard. It's not metal. It's all plastic, obviously plastic buttons. But it does what it's supposed to do. The buttons work. They're clicky. I put the antennas on there, and the antennas, of course, are standard, plastic antennas. This is what you would expect with any sort of Wi-Fi router. There's one of the mount options where you can use the thumb screws to do that, or you have the other mount option of the metal plate with the adhesive. These are basically all the parts I'm setting out because we're going to go ahead and plug this all together and see if we can get it working. So I go ahead, and this is as much work as it's going to take you to actually put this together. You put on the antennas, you tighten up the screws for the camera, and you plug it into 12 volts, and it's basically ready to go. You don't have to buy anything other than this particular kit. You don't have to use all the wiring, all the trigger wires that we'll show in a second there to get this kit going. It'll work out of the box. One nice thing is here's the trigger wires where you can trigger each different camera, 4 cameras, and then you got your negative and your positive DC 10 to 32 volt wiring. Nice thing about these cables is they come with grommets on them. You can see up near the camera under my hand there's a grommet there, so it seals into the side of your vehicle and is watertight. Here's one of the locking connectors that I was talking about. And you got your basic 12 volt there. Nice little screen protector, so that works. Here's the slide-on base where you can kind of form fit and stick the base to your dash or to a wall or a window or whatever you want to stick it to. That looks pretty handy. It's got cutouts on it so you can actually bend the metal around the base, around whatever you're on. The connector for the LCD display, it doesn't have a locking feature, although it does have kind of a little nub which kind of locks in place, but it's not a kind of a twist lock like the camera part is. So here I'm just plugging it in. I'm plugging them both to the same 12 volt battery, got a lithium ion battery. And I'm just going to plug it in. Like I say, 10 to 32 volts. As long as you got that, you're good. As soon as I get these wired up, you'll see that it pops right on. The camera comes to life, and the screen comes on. Now, in the next couple of images here, I'm going to show some of the interface very briefly, and then shots from the outside. So here's a look at the 4-camera display. You can obviously have it showing all 4 cameras at once. You only get 1 camera with the kit, like I mentioned. Or you can go to the single camera. That's a single camera, and I do have some actual video recorded to the card, which we're gonna display, which I'm gonna put up there once I actually go outside and test this. But we're gonna take a look at that shortly. Here's the backup lines. You can put those backup lines on one of the cameras if you want. If one of those cameras is a backup camera, which kind of I use today, then you can put that camera on that particular cam number and to have your backup lines. So that's pretty handy. There is a full menu system where you can set up the contrast and the settings. It is not a touch screen. You'll see I tried the touch screen there just to check. It's not a touch screen. And the resolution of the screen isn't super amazing. It's about what you'd expect for a screen that is, for a backup camera or a security camera. It does its job, and that's all it's really meant to do. The buttons are very clicky. You can see the speaker on the bottom left hand, the graded there. I did a close-up of the screen here just so you could see kind of what the images look like on screen. This is for the color and the contrast of the screen itself. And you got some options to mirror. You got your PAL NTSC versions and your channels. You can switch on and off, etc. Auto scan feature, so you can scan through all your list of connected cameras. Here's a look out my window. We will shortly put this on the Airstream, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like. So I've got my camera basically looking at the 7-inch monitor here, so this is not the direct feed, of course. And just an idea for the screen brightness there. It gives you a little bit of an idea about what the camera can do. Here's a look. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner, you saw the camera there. And now here's kind of the 2 shots of it pulling away. I just had it temporarily mounted just to see how it would work. I didn't move very far, but it gives you a good idea. Now, you'll notice that there is sound to this. The sound is coming from the camera itself, so you'll get an idea for what it sounds like. So what you hear there is the squeaking of the brakes. This Airstream is in restoration mode, so it isn't road ready yet, but it will be shortly. and so you hear the creaking of the brakes and of course the engine from the Suburban. But like I said, it gives you an idea for the kind of the frame rate, the resolution, the clarity that you're going to see. And this video should be uploaded at 1080, I believe. But the video on this is what the resolution in the manual shows 640 by 480, so that gives you an indication. Again, it does what it needs to do. It gives you the resolution that you would need for a security camera, for backup camera. You can see what you're doing. The wide angle, I think, is sufficient for most of it. The next clip is me walking past it, so you get an idea of what it might look like if someone's walking around your vehicle at night. Here's how dark it was when I was testing the night vision here, and this is in the truck and the monitor. You can increase the brightness if you want. You'll notice here it's not in night vision, but shortly, in a couple of seconds here, it switches over to night vision where it goes black and white. So there it is there with the infrared lights on itself in night vision. So the night vision works very well. It was basically almost completely dark out. I had lights on. The moon is up at the top there, you can see. But again, the night version works quite well. And if you have this on mountain cameras, I think your vision would be quite good overall. So what I'll do is I'm going to put a bunch of these extra videos at the end, and you can watch and listen to them. And I'll give you my opinion on it overall right now. So overall, what do I think about this after trying it out? I think the night vision worked very well. I like the capacity, the ability to hook up 4 cameras and the individual trigger lines where you can trigger one at a time to go to a specific camera without trying to click buttons on the monitor. That is very nice to have. This is an industrial built unit, and they give you enough options for mounting, etc. The range, there you can see the range, the Wi-Fi range of the camera. I thought it worked very well. I thought it might have some trouble going through that aluminum. Had no issues at all. So I have no, I wouldn't think that it would have any issues going to 120 meters and working on a big rig. The brightness of the monitor, the usability of it, the buttons, they all just work. The card and camera does have a looping feature built in, so you can just simply loop it just like a security system. So that's pretty good. It basically acts as a security system in your truck. If you just keep it hooked up all the time and running, you're going to see and record to the card, whomever is anywhere around your truck or your camper or whatever. So here's a video, just a raw footage of me inside the car looking at the monitor. Again, it gives you an idea for the lighting of it. There's a look at the signal of it while I'm moving, so you can see that the image is not going in and out when I'm actually moving, which obviously is a big deal. And overall, yeah, it's quite an industrial unit. I would recommend it for anybody who has a big vehicle and maybe wants some industrial cameras on it. The cameras aren't as slimline and small. You may want smaller cameras if you want to be more discreet, or you're using it for a fancy Airstream or something else. These are pretty heavy-duty cameras that you're going to be putting on your truck. But all that being said, it's a very heavy-duty unit, and if you've got an industrial purpose for it, I think this is the exact place for this industrial purpose. Or if you've got a larger RV where you wouldn't notice the larger cameras, then you could certainly use it there as well. So overall, very good wireless camera unit. Has all the options that you would expect, and it does all the recording you would expect as well. So I would recommend it, and look at the images yourself, look at the video yourself, see if it makes sense for you. And I'll leave it there. Thanks guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.